Fueled by Deathcast.
For a lot of people who are just meeting you for the first time, I think it's a very interesting origin story of yours, kind of, because you're not the traditional artist, and the way you got into art is not really a traditional track. Can you talk a little bit about it, like how you got into creating art?
Sure. I mean, originally you said in the beginning, so I was like, well, first there was light, and no, I was born into being an artist. I actually didn't have a choice. My parents, before I was born, met with my grandparents, and they were like, yeah, he's going to be an artist. My entire family line are artists, but none by profession.
Wow.
So they were like, that's it. That is your chosen living.
There you go.
I got to tell you, there are times that I fired like, hey, maybe if I'm a cop. And they're like, nope. Fireman, nope. Can I do good in the world? Nope. Just
right.
fucking draw, kid.
All right.
No, but that was it. They they started training me before I could walk. They would put crayons in my hand, teach me circles, triangles, squares, everything.
Wow.
And so yeah, that's how it all began. I was practicing with like oil paints and charcoal and chalk and stuff at 5.
Wow. And then, so your method is to create art with 2 hands. And I mean, I want to...
I don't know how to paint any other way.
Right. When did that kind of start for you? When did you start using both hands to create?
When I was born right-handed. So when I got to be about 10 years old, I thought, what if I lose my right hand? I'm done.
That's a normal thought for a 10-year-old.
It is. I think most 10-year-olds, are going, what if I lose my right hand? What if I drive a race car off of a cliff? No, so I thought, fuck it, I'm going to switch. So I switched my hands. I made my left hand my dominant hand. Like for the next couple of years, I refused to use my right hand as my dominant hand. So I switched playing guitar. I switched throwing a football, throwing a baseball. I switched it all.
Wow.
And my grades were like, because, they couldn't even read my name on the corner of the paper anymore. They're like, who is this blob? Me. So yeah, my parents were at that point. They were like, "Why are you doing this? This is, don't switch back." And I refused. And so I was published at 13 and internationally published at 15. And somewhere before I got published, even locally, I had math homework due, and I had a painting due. And it was a local publishing job. And I picked up 2 brushes just to speed things up, and I was like, oh, I could do this. And then I realized I can do my math homework and the painting at the same time. I can paint 2 paintings at one time. So yeah, that was sort of the impetus of it. I was just like, I can do it, and that was it.
And you never looked back?
Fuck no. It drives my wife crazy every now and then, because even like when I'm cooking in the kitchen, I'm consistently doing 2 to 3 things at one time. I'm like flipping eggs and unscrewing jars. And
Is there a hand that does math better?
Anymore, I can barely add 2 and 2. I remember when I used to be good at math, and now I'm like, I can't tie my left shoe. So yeah, I think I sign both hands and I write both hands, and they're completely different signatures.
Mm-hmm.
Except for if I start a signature with my right hand and finish with my left hand, my left hand will finish it like my right hand signs it.
Oh, that's so.
And vice versa. I know, it's really weird. A hand signature or signature analyst came to me, and he was like, "I want you to try this," and I tried it, and he was like, "I've never seen that."
Wow.
So yeah.
So when you said you got published at 15, where was that? How did that come to be? How did you get published so young?
I was sending my portfolio out. My dad was pretending to be me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there'd be a phone call that would come in. I was working for TSR at the time, Dungeons and Dragons at the time,
Nice.
and a few others. I mean, I worked for them. I worked for Steve Jackson Games. I worked for a bunch of gaming companies, and so a call would come in and they'd be like, "This is the deadline," and my dad would be like, "Oh yeah, I think we can meet this deadline." And he'd look at me and he'd go, "Can we meet that deadline?" And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think when I was about 17, maybe 16, they sort of, there's a bunch of companies found out that, by then it was just too late. I mean, they were like, "No, fine, we'll figure a way around it and do it."